If you're drawn to dark romance, dangerous men with nowhere left to run, and love born from one impossible decision, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This is the night I let a stranger into my home and learned some men don't leave once they've chosen you. The knock comes at 1:47 a.m. Not loud, not desperate. 3 measured taps, spaced evenly like the person on the other side is testing my nerves instead of begging for help. I don't move at first. I'm standing in my kitchen barefoot, the glow from the stove clock casting pale light across the floor. Outside, rain lashes the windows hard enough to blur the streetlights. Nobody knocks this late for something harmless. The 4th knock is softer. "Please," a man's voice says through the door. Low, controlled, strained in a way that suggests pain rather than panic. I need one night. Every instinct tells me to stay frozen. Every bad decision I've ever made starts exactly like this. I walk to the door anyway. When I open it, the man sways forward slightly, catching himself on the frame. He's white, tall, broad-shouldered, even hunched, rain plastering dark hair to his forehead. Blood seeps through the sleeve of his jacket, staining the fabric black. His eyes lift to mine. Sharp, clear, far too calm for someone bleeding on my porch. "I won't hurt you," he says. "But I will bleed out if you don't let me in." I should slam the door. Instead, I step back. "One night," I say, already knowing I'm lying to myself. "That's it." His mouth twitches, not quite a smile. "That's all I'm asking." He introduces himself as Rowan while I'm pressing a towel to his arm. The wound is deep but clean, bullet grazed rather than torn. He doesn't flinch when I clean it. Doesn't hiss. Doesn't curse. He watches me with unsettling focus, like he's memorizing the room. The exits, the way my hands shake. "You should have gone to a hospital," I say. "And get arrested," he replies calmly. My hands still. "Arrested for what?" "For existing in the wrong place," he says. That answer should scare me more than it does. When I finish bandaging him, he shrugs out of his jacket and folds it neatly on the chair like a man used to order even in chaos. "I'll take the couch," he says. "I'll be gone before sunrise." I nod, though something in his certainty unsettles me. "Why my house?" I ask. He studies my face for a long moment. "Because you look like someone who wouldn't call the police." "I should." "You won't," he says. And the terrifying thing is, I know he's right. I don't sleep. I sit on my bed listening to the rhythm of his breathing from the living room, steady and controlled despite the pain. Every creak of the building sends adrenaline through me. At 3:12 a.m. my phone buzzes. Emergency alert. Suspect at large. Armed and dangerous. Last seen in the vicinity. The description is vague, but the timing makes my stomach drop. At 4:30 a.m., Rowan stands in my doorway. "I need to stay longer," he says. I laugh softly, brittle. "You said one night." "I said that because you needed to hear it," he replies. "They're sweeping the area. Roadblocks. Cameras. And you just know this?" "Yes." The rain pounds harder like punctuation. "I won't bring trouble to your door," he adds. "But leaving now would." I press my palms into the mattress. "How long?" He hesitates. 2 days. Maybe 3. "That's not hiding," I whisper. "That's harboring." His gaze sharpens. "You can still tell me to leave." I search his face for manipulation. Fear. Something unhinged. I find none of it. "Fine," I say. "But after that, you're gone." His eyes soften just a fraction. "You won't regret this." I already do. Rowan doesn't act like a fugitive. He doesn't pace. Doesn't panic. He cleans my kitchen while I make coffee, fixes a loose hinge on the bathroom door, and maps the building exits in his head without touching a thing. "You've done this before," I say. "Hiding," he replies. "Running." He meets my gaze. "Surviving." On the 2nd day, men in dark jackets knock on my neighbor's door. I watch from the window as they flash badges, speak quietly, scan the hallway. Rowan appears behind me without a sound, one hand hovering near my lower back. "Stay calm," he murmurs. "Don't look at them." My pulse pounds. "Are they here for you?" "They're here for someone," he says. "That's worse." When the men leave, I sag against the wall, shaking. Rowan's hand closes gently but firmly on my arm. You did well, he says. I didn't do anything. You didn't run, he corrects. That matters. The third night is the most dangerous. The power goes out just after midnight. I gasp as the apartment plunges into darkness, the hum of the refrigerator cutting off abruptly. Rowan is moving before I can speak, pulling me back from the window. Someone cut the block, he whispers. That wasn't weather. Fear claws up my throat. They found you. They're checking, he says. Seeing who panics. I grab his sleeve. What do we do? He looks down at my hand, then back to my face. We wait, he says. Together. We sit on the floor in the hallway, backs to the wall, his knee pressed against mine. The darkness stretches long and suffocating. I become acutely aware of his warmth, his scent, the quiet steadiness of him beside me. You're not afraid of me, he murmurs. I should be. Why aren't you? I swallow. Because you could have hurt me. And you didn't. His jaw tightens. That's not the same as harmless. I know, I say. It's worse. Something shifts in his expression, something dangerous and intimate. When the power returns an hour later, the relief feels almost like grief. By morning, the news changes. The suspect is no longer at large. He's believed deceased. Rowan watches the broadcast with unreadable calm. They'll stop searching now, he says. Officially. Are you dead? I ask. He glances at me. To them. And to me. His eyes hold mine. That depends. I pack him food, cash, my spare phone. I lay it all out on the table like offerings. You can go now, I say. He doesn't reach for anything. Instead, he steps closer. You let me into your home, he says quietly. You risked your freedom, your safety. I made a stupid choice. No, he says. You made a deliberate one. He reaches out, fingers hovering near my wrist, waiting. I don't pull away. People don't usually do that for me, he continues. When they do, I don't forget. That sounds like a threat. It's a promise, he corrects. My breath stutters. Rowan, I won't disappear from your life, he says. Not after this. That wasn't the deal. There was no deal, he replies gently. Only a door you opened. He steps back then, giving me space I didn't realize I'd lost. I'll go, he says. For now. I nod, heart racing. Good. But when he reaches the door, he pauses. They'll come back, he says. Different people. Different reasons. I can handle myself. He looks at me over his shoulder. You shouldn't have to. The door closes behind him. I last 3 weeks without him. 3 weeks of jumping at sounds. Of scanning faces. Of wondering if every stranger knows what I did. On the 22nd day, I find a note taped inside my mailbox. You left your window unlocked. R. My pulse spikes. That night, he's waiting across the street when I get home. Leaning against a lamppost. Clean. Controlled. Alive. You said you'd go, I snap. I said I wouldn't disappear, he replies calmly. You can't jest. I can, he interrupts. Because you're not safe. And you are. I challenge. A slow, dark smile curves his mouth. Safer than you. I should tell him to leave. Instead, I unlock my door. Rowan doesn't move in. He integrates. He fixes things. Walks me home. Watches the shadows so I don't have to. He never forces, never demands. But his presence becomes a constant, undeniable weight. One night, as we sit on opposite ends of the couch, he speaks the truth we've both been circling. I don't do half measures, he says. If I stay in your life, it's all the way. And if I say no, I'll respect it, he replies. From a distance. You don't sound like a man who does distance. No, he agrees softly. I'm a man who does loyalty. The word settles between us, heavy and intimate. I turn to him. And what do you expect in return? His gaze drops to my mouth, then lifts again. Honesty, he says. And the choice to stay. I exhale slowly. I'm not innocent, I say. I crossed a line. He nods. So did I. Silence stretches. Then I say it. Stay. Something fierce and reverent flashes in his eyes. He moves closer. Not touching, but close enough that the air shifts. I won't leave you unguarded again, he says. You're mine to protect now. Protect, I echo. Not own. His voice drops. Those lines blur when people try to hurt what matters. My heart pounds. Then don't become the thing I need protection from, I whisper. He lifts a hand, stopping inches from my cheek. I would rather die, he says quietly. That's when I know. This isn't safe love. It's the kind forged in darkness, dangerous, consuming, and impossible to walk away from. And I choose it anyway. That choice settles into my bones faster than fear ever did. Rowan doesn't touch me right away. He doesn't claim the moment like a conqueror or press his mouth to mine like this is some inevitable ending. Instead, he exhales slowly, as if restraining something feral inside himself. That's not a light choice, he says. Once you say it, it changes things. I know, I reply. That's why I'm saying it now. He studies my face, searching for hesitation, for regret, for any sign I'll crumble under the weight of what he is. He finds none. Then listen to me carefully, he says. If I stay, I don't drift in and out. I don't pretend I'm harmless. I will be here in ways that draw attention. I will make decisions you might not like. And if someone threatens you, you'll handle it, I finish. Yes, he says. Completely. The word lands heavy. Final. I nod anyway. The first rail test comes 3 nights later. I'm walking home from work, keys threaded between my fingers when I sense it, that familiar prickle at the back of my neck. Footsteps behind me. Too measured to be coincidence. Before I can turn, Rowan is there. He steps out of the shadows like he's been waiting for the world to misstep. One hand closes around my elbow, firm and grounding, while his gaze locks onto the man slowing behind us. The stranger freezes. Rowan doesn't raise his voice. Doesn't threaten. He just looks at him. It's enough. The man mutters an apology and turns down another street without argument. My pulse thunders. You followed me, I say once we're alone. I watch patterns, Rowan replies. Yours changed. That's invasive. Yes, he agrees calmly. And effective. I should push him away. I should demand space, boundaries, normalcy. Instead I whisper, thank you. His grip loosens instantly, like he's been waiting for permission to soften. The weeks that follow are strange in a way that feels almost peaceful. Rowan doesn't move into my apartment, but he's always close enough that danger feels like something that would have to go through him first. He repairs my broken lock without asking, walks me home when the streets are empty, sleeps on my couch on nights when the world feels too loud. He never touches me without consent. But when he does touch me, when his hand rests at my back or his fingers brush my wrist, it's deliberate, charged, like every inch of space between us matters. One night, I find him standing by my window, staring out at the street. You're thinking again, I say. He turns. I'm calculating. That sounds ominous. It's how I keep you safe. I step closer. And who keeps you safe? Something unreadable crosses his face. You do. By staying. The truth of that hits me harder than I expect. The past doesn't vanish quietly. One afternoon, a black sedan idles too long across from my building. Rowan notices before I do. He watches it from the kitchen, jaw tightening, eyes going cold. Pack a bag, he says. My stomach drops. Are we running? No, he replies. We're reminding someone you're not alone. He doesn't explain further. He doesn't need to. That night, the sedan doesn't come back. Never does. I don't ask what Rowan did. I don't want to know the details, only the result. And the result is this. I sleep through the night without waking in terror for the first time since the knock at my door. The shift between us becomes undeniable. It's there in the way he watches me laugh at something stupid on television like he's memorizing the sound. In the way his voice softens when he says my name. In the way his restraint grows thinner every day. One evening, as rain taps softly against the windows, I close the distance myself. His breath stutters when my fingers curl into the front of his shirt. This is still your choice, he says hoarsely. So is this, I reply, and kiss him. The kiss is not gentle. It's slow, claiming, restrained only by the effort it takes him not to lose control. His hands frame my face like I'm something precious, something he'd destroy the world for but never break. When we finally part, His forehead rests against mine,